Let's do it.
Jawohl.
All right, good. And oh, right. My stuff is all screwed up. Hold on. All right. So we're short a scumbag this session.
Sad time.
Um, but you guys got beat up a little bit last session.
Yeah, just tiny bit.
Tiny bit, tiny little bit.
Tiniest.
Who all? Give me some highlights.
Well, where do we begin? We were supposed to go to a kennel. How was the guy's name? What was the guy's name?
Yeah, I forget the guy's name too.
Anyways, we had a source who knew what happened with Roric, right?
Yeah.
We were gonna interrogate him, and we were making up plans to, rough him up and get him to tell us what happened. But we got some information that we weren't the only ones after him. So we decided to make things quick and chose to assault his house while he wasn't there. We used some torture, made him scream a bit, which is when the other group that was looking for him came into the room and shot guns at us, basically almost killing us, as far as I remember.
Yeah. I took 2 bullets, and don't forget that we drugged up the guy, or you drugged up the guy.
Yeah, I used some fever medicine, I guess.
Fever medicine.
Yeah.
Yeah, pumped him full of crazy sauce. And he went running out of a window and then up the street.
Yeah, I think we called it coffee cocaine. Yeah. We beat the other group in the room. Just just beat him. I just stabbed someone with a broken chair.
And then started eating them.
Yeah, and I started eating them, and Mason's character, Christoph, chased one of their snipers who had positioned himself across the street to kill us all.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he killed him, right?
Yeah. And, he got shot. Nobody had armor on, so
yeah,
he didn't take much damage.
Yeah, and by the end of it, all we got was that it was an inside job before he, crack cocaine guy ran away.
Yeah. But he's still alive, so there's always a second chance.
So we did our downtime. We got some healing done, and dug up some information. Besen was taken in by a group called the Lost.
Right.
And the Lost are pretty rough customers. They sort of fashion themselves as vigilantes, protecting the streets. But they're fairly brutal in their own right. I mean, they're not nice dudes. They're ex-soldiers and ex gangsters and stuff. So that'll be its own problem to deal with. But don't necessarily have to get to that right away. Obviously, Christoph is off doing something else. We'll find out about that. But it's time for us to roll into a plan.
Yeah. I think what we just need right now is money.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, if we don't need it, money's good anyway, so...
Yeah, there's a few options you can do for plans. I mean, you can just go after somebody, right? But there's another option. The Hive, if we look at the sheet, they have hunting grounds. And their hunting grounds specialize in contraband. The Hive are closely related with the Dagger Isles. We went over that. And they specialize in smuggling imported things that maybe aren't necessarily supposed to be around. Maybe it's illegal. Maybe it's somebody just trying to hide it from somebody else. Or anything like that. Like I said, they specialize in contraband, but you guys can go after anything you want, and that's a pretty secure way to get money, unless you had an idea to hit somebody as a score. We will mention that there still is the ongoing problem of the Bluecoats, that they have a warrant out for Ghoul. You've evaded them by just not giving yourself up. So that's going to be hanging over our heads for the time being. That could come in at any time, as the Bluecoats they're trying to track you down. They'd still love to be paid off.
Oh,
but we
didn't pay them off.
Well, we don't. Yeah, we don't have enough coin for that yet. They want 3 coin.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think, plan-wise?
Well, contraband sounds all right. One thing that Slab might suggest is, I don't know, either trying to steal something from the Severosi, or something like that, but that's probably a terrible idea at the moment. Contraband is probably a much safer option. What do you think?
So, are we looking to make money? Is that it?
I mean, right now, it's kind of what I'm aiming for.
I mean, I say we just go along with Mason's plan.
I'm just a bit worried since we're one person down for that, but well.
It could get rough. But...
And especially with the Bluecoats.
Hey, we can use them.
It might work.
I'm down for it.
Well, let's start with this. So a plan. What we need to pick is a plan type: assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, or transport.
If we go with Masons, I think it's deception.
So you want to sow some deception. Then we need to provide our detail. The missing detail for a deception plan is the method of deception. So who's our target for this deception?
We want to infiltrate the Lost in order to talk to Besen?
Yeah, Mason wanted to try and talk to Besen, and I think this is kind of Mason would have to do this because Besen knows both of our characters.
Sure.
Try and talk him out of hanging with the Lost and try and get him to come with us, and then realize, oh, well, it's actually Blab and Ghoul again, and you need to answer questions for real this time.
Okay.
But, I mean, without Mason here, kind of the linchpin of
wear
the plan.
suits. Wear suits.
I think he'll still recognize us. Trouble.
Yeah, maybe.
I think Mason might want to be around to see his master plan, but I'm still kind of.
Yeah, I guess if we are missing Mason, we could do a side quest, basically.
Especially since doesn't he have all the social skills and everything?
I have some. So yeah, we could do that. Smuggling, you said?
Yeah, so, Justin, about this contraband.
Sure.
What exactly would that entail? Just like moving stuff from point A to point B, or?
Yeah, so I think their contraband trail moves through the docks and ends up somewhere else, usually in night market. So a quirk about the Hive is that they don't have a centralized HQ. Matter of fact, they have many shops throughout the city that they operate and own to move their contraband. One of the things that they have that's, well, first of all, they have sort of a fleet of boats. They have boats for all individuals. A lot of people, a lot of their members, usually they're mercenaries, they're thugs, the Bright Wolves, have ships that they use to get around the city quickly. And they're usually small, right? And it's just to move like 4 or 5 guys at a time to get from somewhere to somewhere else to protect some asset or something, right? The thing that they have for their trade is a wagon train. The wagons and carriages of the Hive move goods and often serve as roving meeting places for the leadership. So they have these carriages that move throughout the city and will gather up resources, or if somebody's meeting with a Hive member, a wagon will just pull up, a carriage will pull up, and you get inside, and they move while having a meeting type thing. So it would probably be taking something from the docks and unloading it somewhere else. They focus around night market, I think, for now. Various shops and stuff there. Could go anywhere. And you guys can fill that in. So those are sort of the only strictures about the Hive. You can tell me, like, how do you... Well, if what we want to do is contraband, then it sounds like a transport mission.
Yeah.
The detail that we need to figure in is the route and the means.
Cool. I think one of us was a friend with transport dudes.
Let me see where exactly. Yeah, I'm a friend with Briggs, who's a merchant. So, and he's a merchant in, where was it, Coleridge, I think? Just double check here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Charhollow. That was it.
Char Hollow.
Owner of a merchant stall at the Charhollow Market. Cover for a network of spies, gossip, codesmiths. Da 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 da. Who's selling their service to those who need them. Right, so it's not really the right district for it.
Well, I mean, their stuff can move anywhere, like I said.
Hmm.
You could be doing something for him, like if he needs something.
And what about you, Ghoul? What are your contacts?
No, they're just weirdos. They don't. I know that the most common of them is an apothecary, so maybe it could be drugs.
It's possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
So,
I know a corpse thief, so corpses too. I don't know.
Also corpses. Yeah, any of those is cool. I mean, if Briggs, network of gossips, spies, and codesmiths. So, God, among working class people of the district, selling their services to those who need them. Man, yeah, that could be a lot of things. I mean, the detail we don't fill in is what they want, right?
Yeah.
That could be anything, right? You don't necessarily ask questions, but yeah, either of those is cool with me. What do you guys think sounds the funnest?
Well, what we could do is, I don't know, some type of transport mission with the ships, moving stuff from, I don't know, night market to, I mean, going beyond. Would it be possible if it's going beyond the ghost barrier? Sounds really, the lightning barrier rather, sounds really cool, but probably is a terrible idea. But it might net more money. But
Okay.
otherwise, just taking stuff from like night market to somewhere like Char Hollow, yeah, just via ships.
Okay, let's do the Char Hollow thing. Let's do that. We're gonna go after Briggs. Briggs needs something. Well, so it sounds like what you need to do is Slab is do a setup.
Okay.
This will be kind of a different mission, a separate mission from the actual transport. Meeting up with Briggs and seeing what he's up to, what he needs. I guess you hear some word, and you need to go have a meeting with him about what he needs.
Okay. So you're probably just noticing our lack of funds and everything, and the fact that the Bluecoats are on our tail. Probably go to Briggs to try and find a job, yeah.
Yeah. Let me look at one other thing real quick. I've got a few ways for detailing a score here. So a spy or informant. And okay. Yeah, tell me about Briggs's place or his. I mean, it's in the market, right?
Yeah.
So is it like a sort of a street market type thing?
Um, yeah, I kind of imagine it as bit of a market square type thing. There are various stalls covering it's a fairly small square, Of course, he doesn't own them all, but they're kind of friends of his and this local merchant community. And he himself owns a corner shop, which is a sort of fair size, which is mostly just a general store and has a couple of odds and ends in it. But mostly it's just a front for kind of this not necessarily well, okay, it is a criminal enterprise, but it's a network of various professionals.
Okay, so he's got sort of a corner market. Is this a store, a shop, or like a stall type thing?
I imagine it as like a Victorian general store type thing.
Okay.
Mostly it's just actually no, it'd be cool if he owned like a bookshop or something. So maybe yeah, like rows of books and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, so you head down to Char Hollow, and of course, it's pretty noisy during business hours. People walking around. Everybody seems to know each other, and it can be pretty raucous during peak hours. And there's not a lot of wealth in Char Hollow, right? It's a laborers, a
Yeah.
neighborhood for laborers. And they look out for each other. They don't take too kindly to open criminal activity. Of course, it's the dusk, right? Stuff comes through, moves through, but they prefer to keep that kind of stuff quiet and not drag them into the muck, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, the streets are sort of damp, these sort of rough cobblestones, and you come into Briggs's bookshop. And there's always various people sort of hanging around, looking really sort of shady and gruff. Yeah, tell me what Briggs looks like.
Hmm. I think that Briggs is he's like an Akarosi kind of a bit short, but he wears fairly good clothes. Like unlike most of the laborers who wear like overalls and stuff, he has like a waistcoat and looks pretty fine. Has not a bowler hat. What's the other one?
Tricorn.
Yeah. I mean, maybe a tricorn hat. Yeah, I just kind of like. Yeah, I like the idea of him having like a tricorn hat mixed with kind of the middle class look to him. But he's also got a pair of spectacles and generally more of the cool, calculating type. But can get a bit excited. So,
Yeah. So yeah, the name of his bookstore is definitely the Hallowed Book, but the the street term for it is the Hollow Book, right? So it's supposed to be hallowed, like sacred text, but yeah, since he deals in secrets and sort of sneaky activity, there are rumors like, oh, there's a whole code for digging through the books in the private section. That there are always weapons or secret messages hidden in there, and different spies and people come by to pick out missives left there by their contacts.
yeah, I like that they use like notes as bookmarks and stuff and pick up stuff inside the books. Yeah, I like that.
And so yeah, he's sitting at a desk or whatever, and he sees you come in, and he's got his spectacles on, and sipping on some kind of like steaming beverage of some sort. Sure. And he says, well, Slab, pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to see you again.
Probably kind of walk in the door, have a quick look around, and say, "Aye, 'tis a pleasure to see you too, Briggs." And I'm kind of still got a slight limp, and kind of walking off my surgery, but
Sure.
Well, have to see. The bookshop's doing well.
Sure. Better than you.
Aye, 'tis true. Speaking of which, to pay some, bills required due to various problems in my line of work, need a bit of money. Now, you wouldn't happen to know a good job for me and friends of mine, would you?
Yeah. He says, well, not a lot of work around lately. And he like starts walking past you, and he's totally like looking up and down aisles, and he sees some of the people like hanging around, but he's kind of giving you a story like, pretty full up. I've got some lads who come around and work part time, and he's heading toward the front door. I don't need much in the way of that sort of thing. And he just kind of like clunk, locks the door and flips the sign. And he turns around. Okay, anyway, what kind of business are you up to these days? I've got all kinds.
Well, that's strictly confidential. Of course, people in our line of work. But only thing that you have to worry about is that Bluecoats might not like my or my associate's presence. But that's not too different from the usual.
Yeah. Yeah. He gives a chuckle, right? And kind of like slaps you on the shoulder, maybe a bit too hard, and it makes your back ache. And he says, "Well, I'm never too worried myself, but I have people, folks I work for or work with. Yeah, they have something needs moving." Could be tricky, though. It's not a box or a thing. This is well, it's more like moving information. But a very specific kind of information. It's not the sort you want to write down. You see what I'm saying?
And I kind of like nod slowly.
Yeah, so he's sort of being vague back with you. He says, well, as long as we're keeping things close to our chest, which I think is fine, I could have a pickup for you on a corner. It needs to be moved discreetly, without tracks. They come here, and then you take them back. No one's the wiser.
Kind of. Well, before it was kind of smiling. Now it's mostly just kind of stone-faced down to business. And kind of Slab after a moment and says, "Look, I need this money now, and I need to know if this is going to be a dangerous job or not. Can you tell me that at least?" And I kind of take a step forward.
Okay, sure. What action are you making here?
I'm definitely commanding here.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean we're definitely. I think we're risky standard. Just sort of the regular position. But you get an extra dice because he is a contact.
All right.
Devil's Bargain.
I mean,
I've got a
obvious
yeah.
one. Obvious one is that I step on his toes a bit too much here. But
Well, I'm thinking more like why he didn't want to tell you. The Devil's Bargain is that there's already heat on this. That you... Not that you're necessarily gonna get dragged into some other problem, but that, the stakes get raised. There's a problem going on. This is about two gangs, in a bit of a tussle, right? Or they're building up to one, and you might get drawn into it, right? If you leave a trail or whatever. Yeah.
Actually, kind of like that.
Okay.
It's just so long as you're not against it, Rama.
It's your deal, man. You can take it.
Yeah, all right, then sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm just welcome.
Well, I didn't need it, but well.
It's okay. Let me look at this. Okay. Yeah, he's kind of scratching his head, saying, okay, if you insist. He says, has to do with constituents of mine. Cabbies. You've heard about Crow's Foot. The war.
Who hasn't?
Things are getting bloody. Things are getting bloody down there. Worse. Lamp blacks and red sashes starting to spill each other's blood. Moving into other territories. But right now, all they're doing is slashing at each other. Nobody's ready to try for the kill. Which is fine on their part if they just want to beat on each other, but, these are waters. Deep waters. And all they're doing is stirring up the blood. That's when the sharks come in. And I'm working for a group of sharks. School, if you'd like. A lot of coin behind it. Cabbies have an informant. That informant has information for him. He's not supposed to speak about it or tell it to anybody else. That's who you're bringing. And he's talking with them. He's like, You sure you want to know everything?
Kind of Slav for a moment. This is just nods actually.
Cabbies are planning to make a move against the Lampblacks, while their attention is turned on the sashes. Caught in a sandwich. And it's a bad one. If you do it, you get out clean. I guarantee you a good purse. But I can't guarantee that this doesn't blow back on you some. If it's not clean.
Oh, aye, well, if Lampblacks are getting fucked, well, shouldn't be too much of a blowback.
Sure, they lose the war. Doesn't matter. You've made friends. Yeah. Okay.
And so,
Right.
yeah, after that, kind of, I give Briggs a big slap on the shoulder, almost painful, just as kind of a revenge for that.
Sure.
It was his own little jab, and say, "You can pass me the details, and I'll see what I can do."
So, yeah, he says, like I said, pickups in night market. A couple of days from now. I mean, he gives you a time. It's kind of the middle of the day, but that's not so terrible. He gives you a street. Let me get a night market street. I have a list of street names. I'm going to use them. And he says, oh yeah, oh this is good. Yeah, he says, pick him up on Bell Street. There's abandoned building. You should be able to pull right in. You're gonna need a vehicle, of course. Can't go walking. Needs to be anonymous. He should move like an invisible wind. You bring him here, they have their meeting, you take him back, he gets out, you're done. You come back here for pay or whatever.
Kind of, I think sounds easy enough.
Oh sure, should be a slice of pie.
And just Slab kind of turns to leave then, but before he leaves says, and you wouldn't happen to know if anyone would be already interested in this fellow?
Jesus. He says, no, I wouldn't know that. I'm sorry. I gotta draw a line somewhere. But I'll tell you what, make it up to you. Why don't you take a copy of the Black Canaries for free? It's right there on the shelf.
At first, Slab's just kind of like, what? Oh, okay, yeah. And then, just takes the book and
It's a classic.
goes out the shop. Yep. Yeah, and then kind of on my way to meet with Ghoul wherever we are.
Yeah, and as you head out, he says, flip the sign.
I can, Slab laughs and flips the sign and do the pan out shot.
Yeah, so that's our transport mission. That's our contraband as a human being.
Ooh.
So I think we got all our answers for our score, for our plan. Who's gonna roll this thing?
Slab.
Okay.
Sure. Just before we start the mission itself, looking through the copy of the book, what do we find?
Oh, sure. That's right. Yeah. So, I think, yeah, you look through the book and you don't see anything right away. And you're getting sort of annoyed. And it's like, did he really just want me to read a book? And you start, like, getting angry at first. When you, like, you're flipping through pages and stuff. And when you come back to, like, the, like, inner part of the front cover, it actually comes loose, sort of, and you, like, peel it away. And there it's a page that was, like, added and glued in, and you open it. And it tells you, it gives all the details, right? Like where to pick it up and all that stuff, the time and the place. But it does say a name about who it is. And the name is it just says Mr. Pickett.
Right. Okay.
Pick it. Like, pick it up.
Pickett. Pickett. And since you rolled a 6, we'll just tell you know who that guy is. That's it's kind of the second in command of the Lampblacks. He runs their brothel in Crow's Foot.
Aha. Yeah, I thought I heard that name before.
Yeah. That's the guy. That's who you're transporting.
Cool. Right, well, in that case,
It's gonna be a tough one.
yep.
So for the roll, we start with 1 dice for sheer luck. And is this operation particularly bold and daring?
I mean, kind of.
I think you've made it so with that devil's bargain, for sure. This could turn out real bad for not only the both of you, but you could accidentally draw the hive into the war in Crow's Foot, which they probably wouldn't be pleased about. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? I don't think so. Not really. It's, A to B to C. Does the plan's detail expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they are weakest? Who's your target? Is it the Lampblacks?
I mean, the plan I'm thinking right now is that we use one of the ships to transport him, as kind of Lampblacks and everything tend to stay off the waters, as far as I know. It's more of a smuggler thing.
Sure. Yeah, I guess your target is really the Lampblacks, which this is a weakness. Their lieutenant being a traitor, that seems like a pretty big weakness. And are they strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? No. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? I think we already answered that. So that's a yes. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in this operation? Yes. Since you constantly have the Bluecoats hanging over you, that's yeah, they are always going to be a possible interference. And any other elements about Tyr? Yeah, I don't think the tier of the Lampblacks comes in because you're not really going against them directly. But so I think you got 3 dice for this.
All right, cool.
Let's go. Go. Double sixes.
Dice.
Just, I gotta see it. Okay.
Well, it's the mini crit, so.
Yeah, it's the poor man's crit.
The poor man's.
Mixed results. You're in a risky position when the action starts.
Chasing. Come on.
Yeah, so you wanted to use canal boats, basically, right? To move from Knight's Market to back to Char Hollow.
I mean, that'd be Slam's plan, yeah.
Yeah. Also, we need to choose boat.
Yeah, I mean, you'd basically have to go from wagon to boat to Char Hollow to wagon to the shop.
Yeah.
But you could have multiple wagons in place. Like I said, the Hive has like a whole network of carriages that move throughout the city. And yeah, the boat could be a tricky way to avoid being seen. So I think you get him from... I think you pick him up from the place, and he gets inside of a carriage, and comes down to a dockside loading spot or whatever, in Night Market somewhere. And it's on the boat, partway to Char Hollow, when we will have our first danger.
Okay.
Yeah, and the danger you're coming up to, you're headed up a canal, and someone grabs you guys, and points up ahead, lets you know there's a problem. And the canal row you're headed up, there's actually a lot of traffic up ahead. A bunch of the ships moving up the canal are stopped, and it looks like there's a line of boats running a checkpoint. And you definitely see the unmistakable sign of billowing Bluecoats inspecting people's papers.
That's not good.
So that'll be our problem when we come back, but let's take a break first.
All right.
Be back in 5.